the way that he's handled it has been incorrect. He's been like a fumbling, bumbling idiot throughout the whole entire thing. Like he's almost looked like a puppet.
Fore-play, presented by Barstool Sports. We are recording this on Cyber Monday, the year of our Lord, 2024. It's been 3.5 straight days of promotion, and when this comes out, obviously it'll be up. You can still buy stuff. It won't be 20% off anymore. There are a few items that'll still be in the store. I remember they always linger for the rest of the month that are sort of older items that maybe we have a bunch of inventory stuff that'll be a little bit on sale. But once you're listening to this, the sale's over. You can still acquire stuff if you'd like. It just won't be 20% off. But just a huge thank you. Seeing all the receipts, man, like seeing a number next to all the clothing and somebody out there putting 4, 5, 8, 10 items on in a basket, checking out, having it come in at $200, $300, $400 worth of fore-play gear, Barstool golf gear, and seeing just dozens of them, hundreds of them, and people putting funny little comments on there about going to my house or trying out lefty clubs, even if they're right-handed, like all kinds of stuff. It's just been very, very cool. It means the world. We see people a lot at the airport or at the Barstool Classic, and that part of it really makes it feel real, and you feel very grateful. Coming off Thanksgiving, thankfulness, all that. It's insane that people buy as much merchandise as they buy and support us. You look at comments, they could be negative. You think nobody's going to buy our stuff, and thousands of people buy our stuff. So just a huge, huge thank you to everybody for supporting us. It means the world.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. Awesome stuff. Really, really great to have all that kind of support and people rallying and the troops rallying around it. And I think what made it easy was we had really good options in the store. I think we had really good items this year. The hats were all phenomenal. The hoodies are all great. I mean, the quality is really reaching a level that people are going to enjoy it when they actually get these things in, which I know I saw Fore-play Tracker already got his
Incredible.
like 2 days ago. He ordered on Friday, got it on Saturday. So incredible shipping. We're just kind of firing on all cylinders right now. And yeah, really good. It's just nice to be done with this weekend. It's a very stressful, just like, hey, this is a big weekend. You're sitting with a lot of family. It's holiday weekend. You've got Thanksgiving on Thursday. Black Friday starts that night, and people don't really realize like this is a majority of our business. It's huge. It's absolutely massive for all of Barstool, for us. So, those tweets and those Instagram stories might seem like we're peppering you and we're just throwing them out to nothing, but
we're peppering. Right, we're peppering.
It's important. It's important for 3 or 4 days. We've kind of like gone back and changed the way that we do merchandise, and we try and not do it every single week, and we try and not like be the only thing that we talk about. We try and like kind of isolate our drops and make sure that each one is worth it and that we're actually putting a lot of thought and effort into this stuff, because we are like a clothing company at this point. It's not just like trying to nickel and dime people to just throw our logo on anything and get you to buy it. So this one weekend is a big weekend for us, so it's huge.
We don't do a lot of meetings in general. Probably 90% of the meetings that we actually set and attend are merchandise meetings. We go in, we comb through all the different options, the SKUs, the mock-ups, what's trending, what's not. Do we like this? Do we hate that? Do we feel good putting our name on that? Do we feel good if somebody orders that they're going to feel it came out with the right type of quality? They're paying shipping, they're paying X amount of dollars. So we do spend a lot of time. Our merchandise team is off the charts. Allison, Pilar, Q, just the whole squad, like the amount of time they put in. And I'm laughing, thinking about like, we got to throw out some tweets and come up with some try to witty stuff to get a little bit of attention, to drum up some juice for the merch and stuff. They're like all systems go in the war room from basically Thanksgiving when that turkey comes out until Monday night at midnight. They're just in the absolute war room. Like, it's a huge part of our brand, our business, our operation. It is their business. It is their job. And that whole thing, they got spreadsheets going. They're not just working with us. They're working with all the different brands. Pardon my take, Spittin' Chiclets, pizza, everything that's out there. So yeah, it's a enormous part of the revenue that we make. It's the lifeblood of kind of Barstool. It always has been. Allows us to be us. And so people buying stuff every year. I always think there's a chance that like we sell $0 worth of stuff. There's a like, what if people are like, no, we're not, of course we're not buying any of your stuff. Why would we buy any of your stuff? That creeps into my brain every year. And then right away this year at 8 p.m. Eastern time, you just start seeing the receipts coming, and it means the world. So it's been very cool. We got half a day left, so let's keep cranking.
The only thing I never worry about is the item that I'm wearing right now, is the Tiger Swing crew neck. Okay.
Put
we
it in the
started
Raptors.
selling this thing, I don't even know how many years ago.
Is it 3 years in a row bestseller?
3-4 years in a row. Just, it is undeniable. It is our number one seller every single year. And we sell a lot of shit. We sell high volume of a lot of shit. And still, this Tiger Swing crew neck, numero uno, undefeated for 3 years running.
Yeah. It's an out of control item. It really is.
I would love to know. I would love to know a final number that we've sold of this thing. It has to be not even just this year, just in total. Like this thing just moves every year. Even when Tigers,
tens of thousands.
I think it might be 50,000. Like,
yeah, I think it's close to that.
How many dozens of people's families are supported by what Trent's wearing right now? You know, like salaries, bonuses.
It's a great piece of merch. It also works for like if you're an LSU fan, if you're a Clemson fan.
It really
like,
does.
It can work on a couple different levels, but also it's super comfortable. It's true to size. When people wear it, they're like, this thing is so comfortable. So yeah, when you're listening to this, it's probably not 20% off anymore, but 100% of this price is going to be worth it because this thing fucking rules.
It's like transcended just us. Like I saw some guy in the airport I was flying back to home from St. Louis. I saw a guy in the airport rocking that thing, and I walked by trying to make a little eye contact. The guy kind of made eye contact, and he just walked right by me. Just absolutely no clue that I had anything to do with that part of the brand, whatever. And that made me smile. I was like, that thing, dude, has just reached sort of the jet stream, and it just goes. I think we sell like tens of thousands of them on TikTok, and we're not even TikTokers. We just keep cranking with that thing.
It's interesting that you say you run into somebody who was wearing this. I don't know if I've ever seen one single person wearing this thing, and that is crazy because I will see people in the hat that Riggs is wearing and the hoodie he's wearing and every other piece of apparel that we sell. And the one that we sell the most of, I feel like I never see it in the wild, which is very strange to me.
Dude, this guy had I think like the brown one on.
That's a good one.
Because it was right after Thanksgiving, you know, and it was fall and chilly. It was like 20 something degrees and snowing in St. Louis on Saturday. This guy just had the brown version of it on. And I was like, that's so fitting right now. It's got the orange. It looks like fall. He was glowing in that thing. So it's been great. It's been great.
Shout out to our design team, like drawing like a really good swing. You know what I mean? Like I remember going back and forth and like they didn't really know. It was like they didn't really know like what parts of the swing should be on there. And there was a huge debate about like how this thing should kind of be spaced and put on the shirt. And then I remember when it was over, it was like, yeah, it's like 5 people are going to buy this thing anyway. It's ridiculous. It's a swing progression shirt. And then it's like put like 9 zeros after that 5. And then that's how many people will buy it.
Dude, the crazy part for me in the world of you never know, in the content world, the merchandise world, is that the skew of just the regal looking tiger, where it's kind of just his head and like almost mane. You know, I know a lion has more of a mane, but like, that I thought that was what was going to take off when it's just on the chest right there. And I was like, that is fucking sick. And I thought this this was almost childish. I thought this one with the swing and it, you know, it looks like cornflakes or whatever like Frosted Flakes and Tony the Tiger. And I was like, you know, okay, maybe we'll sell a couple of those. That thing just keeps going. It's the only thing in the rafters. It's just banner after banner of that thing.
No, I would say this is in the rafters, and we can move on from the merch talk. I'm sure people are like, this is insane that they're talking about this. But in the rafters also is the Unreal hoodie. That thing just moves. That's probably been around for 5 years.
And that's got a very unique neck. Like for that many people to buy that is really, really shocking. But it's a great hoodie. It's probably the best fitting hoodie. People always say from an athletic fit, they love it. But yeah, it's a great weekend. And obviously, you know, the crew neck.
Thank you to everybody. It's been great.
So.
Equinox EV helps you get the distance you're looking for with an available EPA estimated 319 miles of range on a full charge. Actual range may vary based on several factors. The Equinox EV can accommodate with comfortable seating up to 5 people. The Equinox EV offers a roomy, no compromises interior with ample cargo room and convenient storage solutions. Go check it out, trust me, at chevy.com/Equinox EV. The thing is awesome, gentlemen.
It really is. It really is. I've been seeing a lot of Chevrolet out here on Long Island, just a ton of Chevrolet. And it's going to be exciting to see this new wave of the EVs kind of hit the streets and you can start to see them because we've seen them at the golf events. We've seen them on the tee boxes. We've been inside these cars. We've done commercials inside of them. They are impressive vehicles. From the interior to the outside, everything about it is just perfectly crafted. I'm a big fan of the interiors of these EVs. I really think that that's like when you get into a car, that's like all you're really experiencing. Like the outside is one thing, but like when you're in there, you want it to feel kind of like the future, the spaceship, and that's what Chevrolet has kind of nailed. The huge 17.7-inch diagonal inch screen display, the infotainment system is what I love to call it. Yeah, it's just make sure you get inside one of these things. That's the biggest thing. Go to a dealership and actually get inside, and you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah, the tech is awesome. The high tech is awesome. They've nailed it with that. Head over to Chevy.com/Equinox EV. Check out product info. Check out lease offers. Check out amazing deals. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. It's 9 a.m. here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. I've had a hell of a morning already, boys. I got up and I played ice hockey at 6 a.m. We were on the ice today. 6 a.m. You know, I'm really trying to skate more, and because I'm just not a gym guy. I'm not a workout guy. I haven't really worked out. I've probably, like, in terms of going to the gym or doing exercises that would constitute a workout, I've probably done that less than 10 times in the last 15 years. It's just not in me. Pretty active guy. We're on the road a lot. We're at the classics. You're up and moving. So I'm able to stay decently in shape, but I'm pretty pathetic. I could tell when I walk up, like when there's an elevated tee box and you park the golf cart, and you walk up the hill to get to the tee, I'm out of breath every time. Like my heart just gets no real exercise like it's supposed to. And hockey is one of the best workouts you could possibly have. Anybody who's ever skated, Frankie, I know was on the roller hockey team a couple years ago. It is stunning what hockey does to your body. You're out there for like 10 minutes and you just cannot believe how exhausted you are, and then you keep going for another hour just because you're chasing pucks, you're trying to skate fast. You're, like they always say, boxing's like the most physically exerting sport a lot. And a lot of it is obviously throwing punches, but a lot of it is just when you're in there rubbing shoulders and pushing off people. It's like you don't realize how much you're doing. Hockey, you kind of do it the whole time. So it's a phenomenal workout. Skated my whole life. Hockey was obviously a huge part of my life. I was home this last week, watched my nephew Robbie out there. He had 8 goals in 2 games. My brother's the coach of the team. Just being around, he's lighting it up, by the way. So shout out to Robbie. He also, Robbie's 8 years old, and he's into like the YouTube world now, and he kind of has a gist that like I'm in the YouTube world. And so as soon as I got home, he demanded to see a photo of our 100,000 subscriber plaque, which I didn't even know if we actually had one. But shout out to Brendan Jones, super producer. I texted him within seconds. He sent me a picture of the 100K plaque. Says fore-play golf. I showed it to my nephew, Robbie, and I could come home with dinosaur toys. I'd come home with trains. I could do anything, and nothing compared to how impressed he was when he saw this picture. He's like, zoom in on that. And it says, fore-play golf, 100,000 subscribers. And he just looked at me, and he goes, Uncle Sam, that's legit. That's legit. So anyways, go to the game and watched him skate. He's all fired up every time. They're 8 years old, so they kind of skate around in the beehive a little bit still, where there's not like systems. Yeah. They're not really like posted up, taking passes, going tape to tape. They kind of get the puck. If you're a little bit faster than the other guys, you just skate around them. And then if you can raise the puck, you just score every time. Because like the goalies have never seen anything like someone that could just raise the puck at 8 years old. And he could do all those things now. He's only been playing for like a year. So he scores all the time. And then every time he'd score, he was skating by the glass where we were. And he was take his glove up and holding up what number goal that was for him in the game. And I was pumped for him because he was so nervous in the morning he didn't realize. But like our really good friend JR, Mike, myself, and then my mom was there, and he came in the morning to fight in the guest bedroom where I stay before hockey. And he just goes, Uncle Sam, I gotta be honest, I'm really nervous today. I was like, why? He's like, I didn't know so many people were coming to this game to watch. And I was like, yeah, buddy. And it was like 4 people, and he was all fired up. So anyways, being around the hockey rink and the community and seeing all there was a whole wall of families that had donated to the rink and the program, and it just made me miss the hockey community. So anyways, there's a group out here that skates. They do like a pickup skate Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m. they skate. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to skate. So I taped my sticks last night, got out there. I want you guys to guess what my max heart rate was during this skate today.
188.
Yeah, I was going to say 187.
My average heart rate was 145, and my max heart rate was 177.
Wow,
okay.
It's high. Yeah, it's high.
Dude,
right.
I was fucking
You're in better shape than we thought.
Dying out there. But anyways, I skated. So if you guys make me laugh, I'm just going to cough. I'm at the point where I can't laugh because my lungs
like can't handle it.
They just can't handle it. So no making me laugh because I'm going to absolutely
I don't know if I
it.
took more than 2,000 steps since Thursday. I really don't. There's a lot of eating and then going straight to the couch and watching TV and movies and playing video games. The most activity I did was I went to the Creed concert, which, I mean, you want to talk about heart pounding, heart rate probably at 230. That show is really something iconic. I mean, Three Doors Down and Creed, come on, man.
3 Doors Down?
Yeah, oh yeah. Kryptonite.
That's insane. That's a great show.
Used to call me Superman. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
3 Doors Down has, if you go
Bangers.
through their Spotify, they have bangers. But I
Here's
guess
the
my
problem.
question for the Creed concert,
Yeah.
they're great. They've obviously taken on this like cult following, internet following, like everybody loves Higher.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing the rest of the time?
Well, I mean, they also have My Sacrifice.
All right, that's 2.
They've also got
Is it
oh my God, now
with
I'm
Arms
blanking.
Wide
They've got
Open?
With Arms Wide Open, yeah.
All right, that's another great
With
one.
all arms wide open.
They've got 4 songs. This is the thing, and they also have like "Are You Ready?" like one of their openers, which you would know also. But so they basically have like 5 songs out of their like 2 hours that they play, and that was the funny part. One last breath.
Question.
Put them down to one last breath, and with it, let me share.
Starting to veer into the lane of the other songs as well, but that's still pretty good.
No, that's it.
No, I know. You know what I mean, though? They
No,
all
that's
like
it.
Creed is sort of like they could do one song and they'd all kind of be the same.
Yeah, but like every band's like that. Like you play a Blink-182
Creed in
album,
particular,
and
I
it's
think.
like, oh, Travis Barker and Blink-182 is one of my favorite. But like Travis Barker just plays the drums really fast, and they just like scream about like how they had a date and like they're going to rock. It's like
But
the same
Creed
shit.
in particular feels really on the nose.
But they have like slow, like My Sacrifice is slower than like With Arms Wide Open, and like they change up the pace a little bit.
Okay.
Regardless, it
Like
was
Creed.
funny in the beginning. Creed was incredible. They also sold like packed out Madison Square Garden.
That's
That's awesome.
To the gills, and they had played. He's like, we played this fucking place 24 years ago, which is just like it's crazy that they were that hot in the
So are
beginning,
they,
and
like,
then they're
almost
still
like-
selling.
Like a vintage revamp? Is that why that sells out? Because I feel like maybe 10 years ago that wouldn't
And they
have
sell
sold
out because they have bangers. Like you go and like you listen to like their great songs. That's
It's a
why
good
you
question,
go
though.
see
10 years ago, would they have sold out at Madison Square Garden?
Well, they hadn't played Madison Square Garden in 20-something years, so I don't know that they tried. I'm feeling a lot of Creed hate from Trent, which is okay. You're allowed to not like Creed. Like I think
No,
you're going to piss
I
off
like
a lot
Creed.
of people here.
Thank
I
God
thought-
you said Trick.
I was
'cause
just the
love-
point that when I
No,
saw your
it's-
post about it.
It's resonating.
No, I like Creed. I was just saying, like, they have one very, very
lie.
popular song.
They've got 4 unbelievably, like, I think
But I guess
300 million plus songs.
my thing is, like, when you go to a concert, you're probably going to hear more than 5 songs.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, One Last Breath has 100 million more than Higher.
You go to the
I'm not
bathroom, maybe get a
debating whether or
beer
not
at the
they have
concession.
4 or 5
No,
good
but
songs.
here's the funny part that I was going to say is, like,
Yeah.
the beginning, they have, like, Are You Ready? And everyone, like, knows that song, kind of, and, like, you've seen it before, and you know that they're about to hit you with a bunch of bangers. And then they play these, like, long, dragged out rock songs, and they're kind of trying to be like Kiss almost. They've got like fire blowing in the air.
All right.
And you're just like, and
I
it's
gotta
like
pee,
more
keep
of a
going.
show. And then it goes on for so long that people start to like look around being like, when are they going to play the songs that we know?
That
Which
was my question.
Yeah, but like I did that like when I first started watching Noah Khan, I'm like, when's he gonna play the song? Like if you just go deep into your catalog and you're at like your first concert of a band, you're like, I want to hear the songs, right? Like I'm not like a grizzled Creed veteran that knew all the, and I don't think a lot of people are, but I think when you go to live shows, it's hard to find a band that you know 20 songs. I mean, if they play 20 of them, it's hard. But Creed was really leaning into not playing the hits
They're
for
edging
a
you.
long time.
Edging you.
Like a long time, right? Like I'd say like 45 minutes of not knowing a song. And I don't think anyone at MSG knew any of the songs. Anyone.
For sure. And this is actually what I was trying to get to.
But then they get to the part
Of
that you bought
course.
the ticket for. And it's an hour. I mean, they drag out 4 songs for like 45 minutes. It's 45 minutes of pure, unadulterated elation.
Of course.
Like you've been transcended to another universe going to see them sing those iconic songs. You know, Scott Stapp's running around the stage doing the fucking fist bump. It's out of control how good they are when they hit there. But yeah, I mean, it's out of 2 hours, you're humming for like 40 minutes.
Okay. That was literally my only question. I was like, they have such huge, they're top heavy. It's a top heavy. What's that?
You go to the bar, you don't have to sit there.
Fine.
But they put on a good show for songs that you like. They know you don't know these songs. And I still think that they're theatric enough, and they're kind of like they're doing solos, and they've figured out the show. I've gotten messages of people being like, that's the greatest show I've ever been to. And I think that would be a stretch because you don't know every single song, but I can see people getting swept up in the theatrics of what Creed does. They really do put on a great show.
I love the idea of them edging a crowd for like an hour and maybe even
see how long they can go.
Even for like a note dropping in to higher and then taking you out of it and being like
My Own Prison too. Dude, there was like 5 songs in a row that was like and then like you're grabbing the guys you're with and like you're screaming like hold me now, and we're all just fucking grabbing each other. Like you're watching them do the thing, and that's like all entertainment is. Like they got big for a reason. Those songs are popular for a reason, and then they just simply played those songs inside Madison Square Garden, and it was fucking awesome. It was awesome.
I'm great with it.
Three Doors Down, the same deal. Like I didn't know many Three Doors Down songs. They played 4 songs that I knew, and and then they did a sermon in the beginning, which was nuts, right? They had Madison Square Garden say a prayer, the whole thing, the word.
Nice, because those are both technically Christian rock bands.
Or is it just? Creed? I know Three Doors Down. I remember saying to my buddy, I'm like, I guarantee. He said also he hadn't played in 20 years. I guarantee you, he did not do that 20 years ago. Something happened. He opened one of those 3 doors, and he saw something change in his life over the last 3 years because the lead singer from Three Doors Down gave a legit like, all right, Madison Square Garden, repeat after me. Like, thank you, Jesus. And the whole place like thank you, Jesus.
You're not hiding during
nuts.
That.
It was crazy. Yeah. We thought that Madison Square Garden was going to open up and we were all going to like get lifted into the sky. It was quite moving. I didn't think I was going to get that, but
that reminds me when I told you guys a couple months ago when I was in Pinehurst for a couple weeks that I had back-to-back dinners where we held hands and said grace. And I hadn't been involved in that in a long time.
It's a nice moment.
It was beautiful. No, it was absolutely beautiful. Yeah. And also, the Creed concert reminds me of when I went to the Goo Goo Dolls a couple of years ago when I was at the Wyndham Championship.
They've got bangers, too.
And they've got some bangers, but they also had about 30 or 45 minutes of playing stuff that nobody, like nobody's singing the words. You kind of start talking with each other.
we saw the Goo Goo Dolls at the festival that Noah Khan performed at.
2 songs.
But that's a good situation for them. Like, I guess that's the thing is where when you're on a concert lineup and you're a band that maybe people only know a couple songs, you can rip those and then you're out of there because they're shorter sets. When you're the headliner,
those guys nailed it.
Oh, it's great. Goo Goo Dolls before Noah Khan were great. But I guess when you're the headliner and you have 4 songs that people know, it's going to be a different concert than you're used to.
I mean, people almost started weeping waiting for the song. Like it was, they almost lost the crowd for a second.
Yeah, right.
Everyone loves Creed for what they are so much that you were willing to just wait for those songs. And again, they did do a great job of the songs you didn't know. I can't stress that enough. Like it was funny, and it was a topic of conversation. Every time they started a new song, you're looking around like, are you fucking kidding me? But then mid-song, you're fucking headbanging the whole time. You're like, oh, they're just really drawing out these long guitar hits and dun 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 dun. It's almost like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You're like, holy shit! I don't care what they're playing. It's fucking impressive. And the drummer's old and he's fucking ripping around. It's just, I don't know. And Scott Stapp is ripped. Absolutely ripped to shreds. Oh my God. Wearing a tank top. Looks amazing. Dude, it was a great show. I honestly, after going, and I'm saying a lot of things about it, I think everyone should go to a Creed concert before they die. I think it's that much fun.
Dude, we tried to get them for the Arizona Bowl.
That's one of the biggest misses or the biggest
disappointments from COVID.
The biggest disappointments of COVID, one of them is that we got that canceled. I was supposed to play the drums on the song Higher for Scott Stapp at the Arizona Bowl at Arizona University. That was a thing I was preparing for. I played it. I learned it. Reading the music. I was ready to go. And then what? We canceled that thing a week before, maybe even earlier, maybe even closer to that.
No, I remember I was home for Christmas, so it was a week out.
Dude, that was really bad. We were gonna recreate all of Hire. I think they were trying to get the guy that like flies around, but I think maybe he like passed away or something. But yeah, it was gonna be a full recreation of that Thanksgiving Detroit Hire Creed performance. Yeah, just
Trent.
really, really phenomenal stuff, and I'm really glad I went.
This band is going to be in Orlando, Florida on the 5th. That's not exactly close
This is
to
Creed's
you.
like tour here.
This is Creed, and then they're going to be, they're not going to be too far from me. They're going to be in Vegas end of the month, December 30th, December
Playing
31st.
T-Mobile?
They're doing Caesar's Palace,
Okay.
and then they're doing Caesar's Palace, and then Caesar's Palace, and then Caesar's Palace. They
Dude,
got four shows there.
Maybe I'll drive to Orlando and get edged by Creed.
Dude, you can show up an hour into it, and it'll
That
be
was
the greatest thing ever.
Genuinely, that was my original question because I was curious on how
I want
that
to
goes.
clear that up because Creed has some serious fans.
Dude,
serious.
you
fans.
attacked me like I had a genuine question of, and then
Yeah.
you got mad at me, and then you answered it like, yeah, there's an hour and a half of nothing.
But they're phenomenal. It's very hard. You have to go to see. You have to see it to believe it. Like it's not like I don't know how to explain it. It's not like you're going to see like some fucking like solo artist that's just like obsessed with playing his deep cuts. Like Creed knows they don't have that many, and they're still putting on a show, being like, just hang on with us until we get to the end, because we can't just play 4 songs in a row. Like we have to lead up to it, and they do a great job of that. That's all I meant. Is like Creed is fucking phenomenal. They do a great job.
I believe
it's a
it.
great show. It's from beginning to end. It's a great show.
Did Creed ever get like Nickelbacked to any degree?
I think they kind of skated by. I think Nickelback took a lot of the bullshit.
Yeah.
I almost think they've gotten the opposite treatment where Nickelback, like obviously people were just hating on them because it was popular, but now Creed has this groundswell of like, how great is this? Like the internet's been great for them. They just sold out Madison Square Garden 24 years after they did it.
True.
It's almost like the TikToks and people on social media being like, let's sing the song at karaoke. How fucking awesome is this? Like I think they've gotten the positive side of the internet as opposed to Nickelback got the other side of it.
It's a good they've got good like TikTok songs too for certain, like when somebody posts like
Can you
the
take me
sun
higher
rising
is
or
the
something, they're
ultimate.
like- yeah, right.
I put
Dude, that's
that
one
on
of those
for, like,
songs we should put
merchandise.
on, you know, when they shoot
Same.
satellites out with music on it so aliens can hear it. Put Take Me Higher on there.
Oh,
The aliens would be like, what's this? I want some of that. And they'll come right to us.
it's so good. So yeah, that was fun. That was fun as hell.
That's great.
Yeah, but that's the most activity I did all weekend.
Look, man, there's no better golf shoe making company on planet Earth than G4. It's that simple. We've all got our different styles that we like. Me, Frankie, Trent. I've been rocking a lot of the Galavan tours lately, which are awesome. They're just this blend between kind of the classic style and the new age style. They've got so many different styles at G4. That's why we love it, that everybody can kind of have their own personality, their own flair, their own preferences, and they've got something for everybody. G4 is our favorite online shopping destination, not just for shoes, but for all things golf. Their 2024 gift guide includes a bunch of items for life on and off the greens. The Barstool Classic Championship, I was rocking my little street shoes, street sneakers from G4 that everybody was buzzing about. So they do it better than anybody in the business.
Yeah, I rock the G112s, and they're so comfortable and so great that I don't even think about them anymore. I just put them on, and when I go golfing, that's it. I don't have to think about my feet being uncomfortable or if I'm walking too much or blah, blah, blah. I don't have to do any of that. The G112s and all the G4 shoes, you put them on, and you don't have to think about them again. And that's the best thing you can have in a golf shoe.
Remember growing up, putting on a golf shoe was like a thing. It was a process. They were so stiff, and you had to work them in.
You had to get a
And, like,
shoehorn.
Getting a shoehorn was a thing at country clubs. I remember like when I first started working at my first club when I was caddy, and like I'd go in the room, I'd be like, "What the hell are those things?" It's like to get these really, really thick leather shoes on, and now they've become so comfortable and so easily, bendable and just breathable that I forget I have them on. I wear them in the car. I drive to the golf course in them. I'll wear them into dinner. I mean, I'll forget I have them on. It's that they are that comfortable. I always go with the soft, the plastic bottoms. I never go in with the spikes. So I think that's a reason for me where it's like I'm still getting the grip, but I feel like I'm wearing regular shoes. And the G4s have really just like nailed that aspect of it.
We're also getting you 10% off your first order everyone. You visit g4.com/4. That's GFORE.com/4 for 10% off your first order. Your feet will thank you. I got to talk about just the greatness of the DraftKings Sportsbook because it really delivered a phenomenal Friday night with me and my buddies, being back home in the Midwest, and the Georgia football game was an iconic one, 8 overtimes, and we just happened to be, we're out for my friend Maddie's birthday. We're all sitting around the table, and the game is into the second quarter, maybe I think is when we hopped on. Georgia was down 14-0 to Georgia Tech. That quarterback, King, who's an absolute gamer, it was looking like they were just going to steamroll him, but we said, no, we've been here a million times before. Watch this. So we got a group bet in. Everybody went in for like $50. Georgia was like plus 130 or something at the time to win. They're down, I think it was 14-0. It was before they were down 17-0. And then that thing, we just watched it play out where it didn't look good. They kind of came back. And then really didn't look good with like 4 minutes left. They went down, whatever it was, 10 or 14. And then they just marched back, scored at the last second, force overtime. And then the biggest roller coaster ride in history. We didn't even really know the full rules. We were trying to figure it out after the first overtime. We thought we had to know it all, explaining the rules. He was wrong. This person's right. Trying to figure it out. 4 overtimes, 5 overtimes. Here you think like, oh my God, they missed the 2-point conversion twice in a row. Now Tech and this King guy, they're absolutely going to punch it in. We're screwed. Bang, big defensive stand, goes all the way into 8 overtimes. Georgia keeps kind of their season alive by winning. We were going nuts, and it just made me, DraftKings isn't even on the little list here of advertisers, but it's the reason that those things and that sports book and that being available is so incredibly fun because we were all in on it. It wasn't a ton of money. It was $50 a guy, and we're all high-fiving, going nuts throughout the entire game. We had a horse in the race. And it happened to be one of the more iconic games that we'll remember watching. It was fucking awesome. It was an awesome game.
I mean, it's changed Thanksgiving, I feel like, with all the games. Like, you have 3 games on Thanksgiving. It's obviously been always a huge part of Thanksgiving Day, has been Thanksgiving football. Shout out to John Madden, which I love the little patches the Giants were wearing and the Giants and the Cowboys.
Yep. I loved how much they leaned into the Madden thing.
So cool.
Every year they got to do those patches.
Were they all wearing the patches? I only realized it in the Giants game.
I think everybody was wearing the patches.
They all were wearing it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it really does add to it because now you get everyone in the mix. Everyone's kind of in on a game. Like for me at our family's house, like we were all betting on one game, whether it be the over or an anytime touchdown score, and you're all just kind of like honed in on it. Even like the aunts and the uncles, like everyone's just kind of sitting, being like, "Oh, did they score yet?" And like when they do, it's that huge moment that you can all get together. So yeah, it's cool. It is really cool. For having some action on the games. But yeah, those jerseys were awesome. Those patches were great for John Madden.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is like, would you argue that guy was bigger for football than like anyone else was? Like, is he as big for football as Tiger Woods is for golf? John Madden, with the video game and him being the voice of it, and just like how big the NFL has gotten. NFL is so much bigger than professional golf. So like you could almost argue that this guy was almost more influential.
I mean, the video game is a huge part of it. That's ubiquitous with football. It wasn't NFL 2005. It was Madden 2005, Madden 2007. Like that, it's almost more than Tiger. It's just so ingrained in the sport of football that I really like that they're really leaning on it. Like they're doing the Pat Summerall, John Madden clips during the games, and they're still doing the turkey legs with the turducken. And yeah, I mean, the video game thing is like, you almost can't quantify how big of an effect that had.
Tiger had a video game, but I would say that Madden is I don't know, 20 times bigger.
It's funny though,
100 times bigger.
There's people out there, I would imagine, who like play those video games and don't know who John Madden is.
Right.
Everybody who plays a Tiger Woods video game knows that it's Tiger Woods. Madden, and that almost goes to the point of how ingrained it is, where yeah, Madden 2006 is the football video game I play, but do you know who John Madden is?
I got in one of these. We get in one of these debates all the time, my buddies, and it was about like young kids not knowing Tiger Woods. Like young, like, you know, you go into a middle school and you go to the gym class and you like ask, you know, a bunch of 11-year-olds, do you know who Tiger Woods is? Like athletic, like running around kids, do you know who Tiger Woods is? And my buddies are claiming that like that generation just doesn't really know at all. And it infuriated me. I was like, that name is just something you know. When I was 11, I knew Babe Ruth, right? Like regardless of it being a Yankee fan, you just knew these names. If I was just like in sports culture, even the slightest bit, I knew those names. Like I knew Hank Aaron, like these names that you just know. They're just ingrained in sports, right? Like how do you not know Tiger Woods, even if you're a fucking 10-year-old? Do you like, would your nephew, 8 years old playing hockey, like his team has to know Tiger Woods, right?
Well, I mean, Robbie's not a great example. My brother basically has Tiger Woods tattooed on his forehead. So I don't know if that's a great example, but I don't know. I think somebody said it on the last show, but it's like, I almost think part of that crew is more likely to know who Grant Horvat is than Tiger Woods. Like, I just think that's their world, dude. I don't know.
That's
where
this started, and I carried it over to my buddies.
I said that. I said Grant
you said this.
I said Grant Horvat, yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
All right.
That's
know,
crazy to me. I'm so glad that's where it came. That's crazy to me. You think.
I also said that as a joke when I said it, but all right. So you look at Robbie, Riggs's nephew. He's on all he wants to talk about is YouTube. He literally had Riggs pull up the 100K subscriber YouTube thing. Who is huge on YouTube right now? And I'm not even just saying Grant Horvat. I'm saying that world is where they are. Dude, when I was young, I was watching ESPN. I was watching SportsCenter. I was watching all the old sports shit because that's what was in front of me. ESPN was the fucking mothership, and they were what was feeding into my sports fandom. So now you go to the future where we're at now. What are they looking at most? It's definitely YouTube.
I don't disagree with that. I agree with that. I still think that like to know Grant Horvat and be a consumer of his content, which is insane. We're even putting these two in the same fucking conversation. But like to know, yeah, but you believed it, right? We had a debate for like 30 minutes, and you were actually like giving points as to why you think that a majority of 8-year-olds would know. It was much
briefer on the last show, but I was just saying it as like a hyperbolic example. Of like,
do you believe now that more 8-year-old golfers know Grant Horvat than Tiger Woods?
No.
Okay.
No, but I think it's trending more in that direction than you could possibly believe.
Maybe from like 95% to 5% now, where it used to be 0 because it was nothing.
I just don't know. I think again, using Robbie as an example, he doesn't watch live TV, dude. He doesn't watch Blues games. He doesn't watch. He goes to his room and he watches YouTube. He watches YouTube, and if Tiger Woods isn't on YouTube, he's not watching that. Versus, like if he's watching Golf Channel or golf coverage or Blues hockey games, like he's gonna hear and know about Wayne Gretzky and Bobby Hall and Bobby Orr and Tiger Woods and these names and Babe Ruth, and like I don't think he's gonna have a fucking clue who Babe Ruth is. But you know what I mean? Like I don't think that's even close to on his radar, which is insane. And it's not a full takeover yet. But my point is, like, I think maybe you go another half a generation, maybe in 5-10 years. Like, I don't know that they're gonna be like, is that the guy? Is that guy a golf commentator? What was that? Versus like they're gonna know these people that they grow up with. That's all he does is watch YouTube videos. He loves it. He lives for it.
It's up to Charlie Woods.
True. Carry the torch.
Guess so. I don't know. It's just I guess this is just like where it ends. Like for every generation in the history of the world, you've just known and have always known the greats. No matter how old those people have gotten, those names are always just kind of talked about in whatever realm or whatever generation you're talking to. Whether, you know what I'm saying? Like no matter how young I was, I still knew all the Muhammad Ali. You knew these names no matter what. I never watched a single boxing match of Muhammad Ali. I didn't watch boxing at all my whole entire life, but I knew his name. Mike Tyson, these names you just know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know why this younger generation, why it would be impossible for that to also be the case, even though they're not consuming any Tiger Woods content.
I think part of it is that everything is fractured in terms of like there isn't one place where you get X, one place where you get your news, one place where you get your sports highlights, one place where you get your whatever. It's you can find whatever you want. Like, and it's way more fractured. You can go on YouTube and you can search anything and it's going to start giving you those things. So if Robbie is into, let's just use Grant Horvat as another example. If he puts in Grant Horvat, he's just going to get fed YouTube golfers. He's going to get fed all of those things as opposed to, like I said before, I turn on my TV, It's the only thing available. It's the only thing everybody is watching. It's the same reason that, you'll run into people on the street and they'll be like, have you seen this show? And you'll be like, I didn't even know that show fucking existed. But it's in their world now. They're in this little world that they have created. It gets fed over and over again. And if you're not in that world and you haven't seen it, you don't even know it exists.
In my argument on that, I would say that like the more places to consume that golf content or more people talking as opposed to it coming from one channel is actually more of a reason that you would actually have a chance to hear of a Tiger Woods or any of the historical figures, because you have more people talking about it. You're consuming it way more. More like the odds of Grant Horvat not mentioning him or whatever are way lower than like that one TV show that plays at 8 o'clock. And if there wasn't a highlight about Tiger, they wouldn't have talked about it. I just think there's way more places to now, like that TV show. Back in 1970s, like everyone watched the same TV shows. Now there's so many TV shows that you can run into a guy and he can tell you about it. So now you're exposed to that TV show, but I never would have been exposed to because so many people are watching content now.
With that model, you will miss things.
Yeah, but there's more things to see though.
But you only have so much attention span.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like if there's 1 million golfers now, that's 1 million more people or doing content. That's 1 million more people that could mention the word Tiger Woods. I just think his name's never going to go away from, like, you're acting like Grant doesn't say that name. Like, he has to, right? Like, I mean, there's no way he doesn't, like, reference him and talk about, like, a shot. Or
he's doing a lot with Phil. He might not.
Yeah, true.
I also think, not that, like, if you're watching golf content on YouTube, you're probably going to know who Tiger Woods is. But I do think, like, that person might abstractly know Tiger Woods, but they're going to know a lot more about their YouTuber. They're going to know where he lives, what his game's like, who he likes to film with and who he doesn't, who he really admires as a golf game, what his dad did, how his dad got him in. Tiger, they're not going to, like, I just think they're not going to know how much he won or what he did here, that he's won. Like, they don't really know. They probably abstractly know that Tiger was like a great golfer. And I just think, like, dude, also the YouTube videos that they watch are like sick. Like, Robbie was into fucking dinosaurs forever. Like, he's watching basically like an AI recreation of like, seeing if a T-Rex could beat like 3 gigantic crocodiles in a fight. Like, awesome. It's like he's watching it for like an hour, and I'm like watching him too. I'm like, this is awesome what he's watching. So it's like, and now he's into Roblox, right? So he's hardcore into video games, and it's like, I just think you only have so much bandwidth, and if they're not watching Sports Center, they're not really watching live sports and whatnot, then like his mind is consumed with the things that he only has so many things that it could be consumed with, and it's like video games. It's his own hockey like career, and it's YouTube. That's kind of what he's got. And
yeah.
So it's definitely.
I mean, I know it was a joke. I'm just not ready to give Grant Horvat the fucking golf.
He's gonna love this segment. By the way,
he's gonna love
this.
Yeah.
Bigger than
it's like,
I do think
mainlining like, bigger than Grant Horvat's. It's like we're using. Like,
no, that was just like that was like a placeholder
like
for
Rick
like
Shields should be like the next like Tiger Woods.
It's like a placeholder for the next generation of whatever it is.
No, I see. I know. It's just I don't know.
I honestly think mainlining Sports Center like multiple times a day like really affected my sports fandom. Because where else am I getting my fucking sports news? And they covered everything. They would show hockey highlights, and I wouldn't even care, but I would just be sitting there watching them. Like, and you're just a kid, and it's churning in your brain, and you're just like, all right, that's the Detroit Red Wings. All right,
maybe
that's
I'm
the
just
San
wrong.
Jose Sharks.
It's sad. If I am wrong, it's sad because I just thought the Michael Jordans, Wayne Gretzky's, and Tiger Woods would last forever, and like. No matter what, I grew up in an era that I didn't get to watch those guys, and I still know everything about them because you just have to know. They're just part of history.
They're
like
never going to go
now
away.
Are just going to know fucking Bronny James over Michael Jordan, or like our 9-year-old basketball like content seeker outers. Are they just knowing Bronny James more than Michael Jordan?
The question is now that you can tailor-made your own algorithm is what are you interested in?
Right.
And maybe if it throws you a Tiger Woods highlight, you say, whoa, who's this guy? And then bang, you're in a Tiger Woods algorithm, and now you know everything about him. I'm just saying the way things are now, you get what you want.
Yeah.
I have a Tiger Woods Funko Pop. So.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh,
look at that thing.
Awesome.
So Funko Pops are the fucking best.
How cool is
awesome.
this thing?
I introduced you guys to Funko Pops because I called Melosi Golf from Good a Funko Pop. I said he kind of looks like one.
Well,
and no one really knew what that meant. I said he'd be a great Funko Pop. He has such a look to him that if you created him as a Funko Pop with the shirt off and the hair with the highlights in it, he's holding the golf club with like tight shorts on, he'd be a little Funko Pop. That'd be awesome. And I told Good to start selling them. They're like, Kendrick's like, I'm gonna get on that. Like, I think you can like customize these things. So there might be a big Mo fucking Funko Pop coming soon. But yeah, now you got one. I got a John Lennon one downstairs. I got a Paul McCartney one. I'm trying to get all the Beatles. I hope I get some for Christmas.
I want
the
a
reason I knew what they were
Sinatra
is because
one.
I lived with Robbie Fox for 4 years, and he's got maybe 500 Funko Pops.
Yeah,
he's got a whole shelf of them.
Dude, go now when you go to the mall, there's all these old school retro stores, and you just can browse these Funko Pops for hours. There are stores that have so many Funko Pops, dude.
I've been doing Googling. I want a 50-cent Funko Pop, and I can't find one.
He made
really? You should do one.
Deal with
I
them.
want one.
Bro, go
photo. You got
to
a nice
mall.
photo with 50 Cent.
I do have a photo of 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm.
Angry.
Mm-hmm.
He was angry that I took a picture with him.
It was in his car, right?
His convertible Rolls Royce outside of the old office.
Let's be honest, what people really want for the holidays is to see their favorite people more often. That's why this year the best gift you can give is an Aura digital picture frame, named the #1 digital photo frame by Wirecutter. Aura frames are incredibly smart and incredibly easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online. Preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. This is very clutch.
Yeah, this is huge. I mean, I told the whole story about how I told my parents about us having a baby and my wife being pregnant, and it was all photo based. It was like I made a little photo album for them, gave them a hardcover book, and like now that I see this, where it's like there's a digital aspect to it, like being able to give them something where all the photos that we took on our trips to Ireland and throughout all the years, and now like you can upload like sonogram photos of the baby, and then when the baby's born, you can keep uploading it for them at their house. They'll be able to see all the photos and just keep up with it. You know, they're tech savvy people. They're on Instagram and Facebook, and they know how to use their phone. But like, you know, seeing photos at like on your coffee table or inside your home, that's just like a really nice feeling. Like yeah, you can look at them on your phone, but like that, there's something about these photo frames, and especially the digital ones. I love them. I mean, I felt like they used to be like an old person thing back in the day, and now you're seeing them in so many more houses. Bro, these things are really tech savvy. Like the app is like you can like put the different frames on them and different slideshows, different aspects, different effects on them. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. We talk a lot too about decorating places. That's like we're big on that with all the cool stuff that we've got, the photos, the experiences that we've been a part of. Obviously, a lot of that.
It's also the easiest gift. You never know what to get your parents. Like, this is the ultimate easiest gift. Like, here's a photo of me and all the things I've been doing in my life, and you can just like look at them. That's such an easy gift for a mom. Are you kidding?
It's true.
Save on the perfect holiday gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code fore-play at checkout. That is AURA frames.com. Promo code, one word, fore-play. This deal is exclusive to our listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply. That is code fore-play at auraframes.com.
I know we're going to get into some from the galleries, but I got this may be a part of it because I got a DM from a guy and I kind of glossed over it, and then I read it again and I was with some buddies. So I was like, oh, like, what do you guys think about this debate? And he basically said, and I don't know if this is a good one because there's no answer, but I'd like to hear you guys' take on it. He basically said, what do you think, what alumni, what school do you think has the lowest handicap if you took like all the golfers at that school? So I guess you really got to think about like the types of people that are attending these schools. And I think your first thought goes to rich elitist. I don't know, like the Yales, Dartmouth, Brown, Harvard. And you're like, those guys obviously golf. And then you start to kind of debate about it around a fire and you're kind of talking. You're like, there's a lot of nerds that probably suck at sports that go there, right? Like they're not very good golfers. Their average handicap's going to bring that thing way higher than the better golfers.
So are we doing it where every person in the student body, you're giving them a handicap?
No, I think it's probably golfers, right? Like, because that's impossible. Because you just like take like, I don't know, you find like I don't know.
So if you took like the lowest,
like
let's say you took
quadriplegic
like
school, and you're just like, obviously, I don't know.
Right, they're gonna be.
You can't do that. You gotta do the golfers.
So yeah, you say you like take the lowest 10% of the entire student body or something, and like in terms of handicap, and just see
I'll just
what
go
that
ahead
average
first.
is.
I think it's like a Georgia, like a Southern SEC school.
Yeah,
all the frat bros are there. Like they're all golfing 24/7. It's got to be something in the South.
My brain immediately went south. There's no way anybody up north when the golf course is closed and they're not even outside and it's cold and it's got to be in the South.
But if you're taking the 10%, right, and you're going to a Yale, you've got some fucking players there.
True.
Players.
Yeah, you do, but you might run out of numbers pretty quickly to where like you just start going way up. Just a lot of narps running around, that's just not going to get it done. They're going to shoot a trillion out there. My instinct too goes to a Southern school that kind of has an MO of having like pretty rich, sort of like fratty, sweater tied around the chest, like kind of bros. I think Auburn's a little bit of that, of like Southern SEC school that's kind of like a little bit nicer, and it's like those kids, they didn't necessarily go or get in or weren't striving to be some top school, but they go to Auburn. They're pretty good students, come from nice families that just grew up at a country club with a nice golf swing,
Yeah, I don't hate that. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
I might say Auburn.
Auburn is a good one. Georgia, you might have nailed it with that. Georgia or
Ole Miss. Like
Ole Miss is up there.
Like I saw a lot of golfers when I went to Ole Miss.
Of course.
What about California? What about California?
See, California to me is just something about it's just fake. It's just like I don't see it. I don't know. Obviously, like you go to a USC, you're gonna have a lot of golfers there, but you're also gonna have a lot of NARPs. You have a ton of NARPs at USC.
Yeah.
It's Florida, or it's like the band. It's the Florida Georgia line. It's somewhere in there.
It's like this with sports, where you talk about like best high school sports, and you go to the Texases and the Floridas, and like you want to find the best high school football team. It's always coming from one of those Southern schools. So that's where you got to kind of think about like, where are those kids going to college? And then that would then give me the lowest handicap average, because that's just like the most athletic kids are all going in one school. Like they're probably, there's a lot of athletic kids that go to Ohio State and Michigan, but I just don't see that being more like, if I had to pick the top 100 golfers from Michigan, the top 100 golfers from Georgia, I think Georgia's winning that battle.
Yeah, I think too, you go to a Southern school and it's just inherent in the climate of that place that people play golf all year round. And so it's a bigger part of the culture. It's a bigger part of like, they're going to trend towards that sport because they could play it all winter, versus it's kind of a fun summer thing in a lot of the rest of the country, but you're not committing to it and developing as good of players. I do
might
think
ruffle
it's like
some feathers. I don't know. We might get some hate
maybe?
messages from this. Yeah, Oklahoma State.
That seems to be where every good golfer goes.
I think it'd be really like Texas. I could be
right. Do you go to where the school has the best team like that? That you got a bunch of guys with +6s on the team.
It's a good question. Hard to answer, and maybe we just have like a college battle royale at some point.
I got a fun fact for you guys.
Okay.
Jay Monahan in 2023, his compensation was $23 million.
That's too high.
He didn't do a thing in 2023.
I would say it was actually detrimental to the game of golf, what he did.
I think tax returns just came out or something relatively recently, and I saw this. Might have been
he didn't do a single thing positive.
Isn't that amazing? 12.1 million of that was in like incentives. I believe I saw this in the Friday newsletter, and I was dying at those. Right. So that's like,
what could those be?
Was it like page views? Because he crushed those. Just like clicks
might be
on socials.
It might be, he might be like his contract might be based on like a PIP type system, might be part of his incentives. And then it might be, right, like if purses, he might have had little benchmarks that he had hit, like if average purse on tour reaches a number, which it did, then like he got all these things unlocked, because the more you think about it, like they're playing for way more money in all this stuff, that even though the reason that occurred might not have been what, when his contract was signed, they intended, they kind of got there. Like the purses are outrageous now. They're playing for all these elevated events. The purse is like $25 million.
I don't want to have to go back and go through the timeline of everything that's happened, but I do think now, being a couple of years into this thing, if you went back, like hindsight's obviously 2020, and we're all like, this guy was horrible. He's the worst leader of an organization of all time. He's fucked up from the beginning to the end, specifically like pigeoning himself into a corner saying like, would I ever partner with people that did 9/11? Why don't you ask the families of that? Like really, really set himself up for failure there. But also like, did we all at the time that Live became a thing think that this guy's only option would be to obviously bend the knee and work with them, right? Like now it looks obvious that he should have done that. But like for any man with any sort of pride in what he thinks he can do and pride in his own organization, of course he was going to take the point that like we are going to win this battle against the shark, Greg Norman, and all of this outrageous money. Like, of course, the oil king is not going to come in here and buy golf from us. And now, like 3 years later, we're like, what a moron that he didn't just do this from the beginning. Like, there should have been one huge Saudi Arabian regime that just takes over golf. And like all the fans are like, well, if you don't like that, you don't like Trump. It's like, how did this all become so fucking political? Like, what are we talking about? Like, of course, in the beginning, you didn't think it was going to get to this. And now that was obvious. Like, you have to be able to see both sides of it. Of course, Monahan wanted to win. Of course he did. Imagine he came out from day one and was like, we lose. They'd be like,
yeah.
The PGA Tour would be like, you're the worst ever.
No, you're offering Jay Monahan some grace here, which is nice. He hasn't gotten much of that in the last couple of years.
No, because like the way that he's handled it has been incorrect. He's been like a fumbling, bumbling idiot throughout the whole entire thing. Like he's almost looked like a puppet for whoever is going to like give him an attaboy at the end of the day. First, it was a PGA Tour and he thought that his players were going to stand by his side. And now it's like, oh, like, please come here. We'll do whatever you want now. And then that looked like that was going to happen. And now he's dragging his foot and he can't get across the finish line. So he's constantly just kind of making the wrong decisions. He can't get anything done. It's a bunch of just nothing. That's the problem.
I do think there's minutia in there. Like there's a nuance there. There were tentpole parts where he could have made a different decision. Like I understand what you're saying. We're talking almost in extremes where it's like you win or you lose, but it was an opportunity for him to, I don't know, you're the commissioner of the PGA Tour, come up with a solution that doesn't end in we're either going to win or we're going to lose.
Right.
That I think is probably where the critiques come in.
I also think, if he would have never invoked the 9/11 thing,
right,
I think everything would have come out in terms of the reputation and the vitriol that he received from the public. I think everything would have come out infinitely smoother for him. I think he could have easily then just played the card of the storyline of, yeah, man, we're facing an existential threat that has now $800 billion in the PIF. And of course, they're just going to be able to cause our players to leave, and trying to combat that is incredibly difficult. And he should have realized, if you're making $23 million, I'm never one of these guys that's like, I can't believe this commissioner or this CEO or whatever is getting paid that much. If your company, organization, operation that you run is continuing to strive and make more and more money and grow at a very impressive rate, then it's clearly worth it. You deserve that. If he's making $23 million, he needs to be incredibly impressive and have that foresight and that knowledge and that deal-making ability or whatever it is that he's an expert at. And I think that he should have had that foresight to know that if you're desperate enough that you're going to invoke the 9/11 thing, which is the ultimate morality card, then he should have realized that he's so desperate that obviously he's eventually going to run out of time and have to do something that's going to make him look like the biggest hypocrite of all time. And being a hypocrite on just simple business stuff, and you could just always go back to like, I was trying to defend the tour as best I could, you can get away with. But when you go to the extreme of invoking the worst thing that's ever happened on American soil, or one of them, that is still so fresh that it reaches another level of emotions and feelings, and then you go back on that and partner with the same people that you were trying to invoke 9/11 for, claiming they're the worst people ever, it really just makes it hard for anyone to carry an impressive reputation in their own mind of you going forward. And I think that was sort of the thing that everyone, including Dave, when like Dave posted his video being like, is this guy the worst fucking guy in the world? He just wouldn't have done that, and he would have had the foresight to see that it was going to always end in a way where they're going to have to partner. Then that, I think, is what somebody that makes $23 million we should expect out of them. But instead, he just fucking hasn't really done
Yeah.
shit
Hasn't
that's
done
impressive,
anything.
you know? Nothing.
Like you think
It's
about
nuts.
you think about Roger Goodell, and obviously this company hates him. We got a long history with him. He makes like $40 million a year, but also then people are kind of like, well, yeah, like the NFL is the most successful league ever. Remember when concussions were gonna end
That
football?
Will Smith movie was supposed to take down the NFL.
When was the last time you talked about concussions? I mean, we talk about it with Tua. We see what happened to Trevor Lawrence yesterday, but like, it's not going to end the sport. And somewhere along the line, Goodell is pulling these levers where it's like, we're just going to keep rolling and we're going to be the most popular sport in America and everybody's going to get rich and you guys are going to pay me $40 million. Like, that's a guy who people are like, yeah, that makes sense. Jay Monahan, he hasn't done fucking anything.
Will Smith tried to end the NFL and ended up smacking Chris Rock in the face. Like that's how much the NFL won that battle.
Right.
They're like, I don't care about that movie. Go have a mental breakdown at the Oscars. you know, it's just fucking great.
Like, true.
Like just kind of shoot away what most people are calling like the most detrimental story to hit a professional sports organization, being like these people. Like this is a story that needs to be coming out. These people are dying.
Now,
CTE is killing these football players. They're killing themselves after finishing your sport. Like, can't you figure this out? And they're just like, they kind of went like this. Like
now the
go
NFL
smack
does have
Chris Rock.
the NFL does have the benefit of people just fucking love football. I love
Yeah.
football. Everyone on this podcast loves football.
The Saudi Arabians have the benefit of being able to fucking do 9/11 and then buy golf because they just have all the money. This is kind of what we're talking about, where it's like you just have the benefit of doing whatever you want to do. Like Roger Goodell could be the worst person in the world, which Dave Portnoy and I tend to agree. He's the worst person ever. But he just gets to win because they just have the money and they're just successful.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Jay Monahan, he ran into his own kind of Roger Goodell NFL situation where it's like no matter how bad these people are, no matter how many bad things that are happening, concussions in the NFL and terrorism in Saudi Arabia. I'm not saying that they're the same thing, but they are two bad things that are happening. If they're just winning and they have all the money and they can just kind of bully you around, no matter what happens, you have to just kind of bend the knee and succumb to it, no matter what, no matter who you are. And he didn't see that. That's unfortunately the worst part of this PGA Tour situation.
Another thing that Jay Monahan did not see coming, although, again, a guy who gets paid $23 million a year might want to have the foresight of this talent is going to leave. And they're going to go to this other league because money ultimately talks. So if you're going to pay Dustin Johnson $150 million, if you're going to pay Phil Mickelson X, if you're going to pay Brooks Koepka X, that's the thing where he thought, and again, a smarter guy might not have seen this. And again, at the time, I think a couple of us at least were in the dead in the water camp, but we didn't think that guys were actually going to jump, and they did. And Jay Monahan didn't see that coming either. And as soon as those guys crossed, it was fucking over.
The real problem
million,
is you should be allowed to go on TV and be like, these guys constructed 9/11 and they're bad dudes. That should be allowed to be said because it did happen. We're also sitting here talking about like hindsight's 2020. He shouldn't have said that because he should have known where it was going to go. Where it's like, that's like the bad thing is that we all knew where it was going to go and it was still happening.
It is, but then don't cave then. That's fine. In fact, he had the moral high ground. He had all that. Yeah. If anything, what if you really truly are this guy that's going to be on the right side of what difference between right and wrong, and what they did is wrong, which it is fucking wrong and horrific, and we've said it a million times on the show, then resign and protest when you see it going down a lane or something that you can't go, and go, fuck this. I did everything I could. I stand by what I said. I stand by the fact that these are bad people with bad human rights. I don't want them buying golf, and I'm out, or something of that nature, and be like, this whole tour is going to go down if I remain at the helm because I refuse to do business with them. So out of the goodness of golf and for the tour and to hold my head high for the rest of my life, I'm out of here and someone else can handle this. Like something along those lines. Because you're right, Frankie. Like he was not wrong at all until he sat there next to Yasser like he was fucking Robin to Batman and watched Yasser just dominate that entire thing on CNBC. Yeah. And now Yasser's sitting next to fucking Trump. And here's Monahan is basically, we're laughing at him like this clown who's got $23 million but doesn't have any self-respect anymore. And it's like, that's kind of the opposite of what he started doing. You know what I mean?
Mm. Right. When you invoke something like that disingenuously, I can't say words right now, then people are going to, your credibility's gone. It's gone.
Yeah. Shipsticks creates a stress-free travel experience. It's a game changer. It's just a total game changer. Talked about it a lot the last few months. We're going to keep talking about it because you're really just a silly person if you're not using Ship Sticks. Whether you're going home, you're going on a quick trip, even if you're going on like a work trip maybe, and you want to be able to pop in, do your work meetings, jump over to a course, book that tee time, send your clubs right there, send them back. You don't have to worry about anybody seeing you. You don't have to worry about dragging them through the airport. You don't have to worry about holding up any of your colleagues or your family or your friends based on the trip that you're going on. It is that simple. It's seamless. They're just there, and then they just return to your home. It's awesome.
We just started the show being like, a lot of the things we say, our listeners really rally around us when it comes to the merchandise and like the products that we put out. They'll purchase them and they really like to support the brand. This is something that we're telling you will elevate your life and your experience of traveling and going on golf trips and going to different golf resorts and golf courses, wherever you might be going with your clubs. This is something you have to listen to us with. We talk about a lot of things all the time. This is something I swear has made our lives so much better. Listen to the code. Listen to the money you're going to get off. Sending your clubs home is the greatest luxury you can possibly have. Sending them there is even better. But like sending them home, there's this feeling of like, once I'm done golfing, I'm literally leaving the course and that's it. My clubs will be home. I don't need them. I'm going straight to work. I'm not going to golf for the next week. I can send them home on 5-day ground shipping. I don't really care when they get back. I don't have to deal with them at the airport. I'm telling you guys, the price, especially if you're booking a golf trip, if you don't bake this in, if you don't bake it in for every single one of the guys on your golf trip into the price of getting their clubs shipped to the destination, you're a moron. I'm going to start saying it plainly and loudly and clearly. You're a moron if you're not using this. Listen up.
You get 20% off your next shipment by visiting shipsticks.com and use our code FORE, F-O-R-E. That is shipsticks.com, 20% off. Use our code FORE. They ship to and from 180 countries and territories, and they handle all customs paperwork on your behalf. That is code FORE for 20% off at shipsticks.com.
When's this match? When's this match between Scotty, Rory, Bryson, and Brooks? Is that who it is?
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing that we've seen since the players defected to live. This is going to be. Do you guys think it'll hold that much weight and that much water that there'll be that much like kind of heat and blood?
I just think sometimes, and most of the times, this happened with the Bryson and Brooks match. Eventually, it's like it doesn't happen fast enough.
This one might hold a little bit.
Maybe.
It's Rory versus like Brooks.
But only if they spit in each other's eyes.
You need you need like no handshakes. You need the camera work to be right to like see the eyes kind of darting. You need an interview to come out this week to be like, I fucking hate those guys. That's what you need. And you're not going to get it. You're probably
No, bro,
right.
we did this. It started with Phil and Tiger. We were like, these guys have been generational rivals and they hate each other and it's going to be incredible. This is going to be theater how much they hate each other. And then they barely talked for 9 holes and it was like, holy fuck,
I
this
saw
sucks.
a lot of people were like shitting on that other match that came out with all the celebrities. Like no one even knew that it aired.
I couldn't
it was
believe
like
that
a
either,
weird
'cause I was like
timing.
aware of it and didn't even know that it was like on.
It's becoming a meme where it's like there's like they'll show like pictures from it and like everyone's writing like the match that never happened. Like I can't even imagine what those numbers were on the views.
Had to be low. And they pre-recorded it, which was strange.
They pre-recorded
Shout out
it,
to
which
my
was
guy.
such a miss.
Shout out to my
Like,
guy
who
Wayne.
won?
My guy Wayne.
Won.
Wayne
$1
Gretzky
million.
won. Yeah, I have no idea. He won $1 million.
He won $1 million. I won $1 million. He beat Michael Phelps in the finale.
This is another reason why Dave Portnoy is the best. Like we're doing this creator event. He's talked about it a lot. We're like kind of in the trenches, figuring out how we're going to do it. We're actually really, really close in terms of like locking down the idea, which I think we already have locked down the idea, locking down location, all that stuff. He's talked about it on the Unnamed show, but like he's always kind of been on the side of you need people that are actually care about this, because if the people that actually care about winning the money and wanting to be in the event care, then the people watching will care. And when you have Wayne Gretzky facing Charles Barkley, and we love Nate Bargatze, he's one of our favorite people in the world, but like all these guys, like, you know, Nate was probably like #1 grossing comedian of all time this year. You think he's going to really like try and make birdies and try and win $1 million? Like that guy makes $1 million in the morning slot at MSG when he's selling it out 10 times. So it is a little bit. It's like I really don't like. It's just more guys like that don't need the money. So yeah, I do think that probably added to it. Where it's like, why do I care about this competition? Like the banter won't be that great. Like they don't even hate each other. There's no blood. Like you want some drama.
It is a great point, and Dave has been absolutely spot on with that the whole time because we kind of submit this list of people that we think should be in this, and then we've got 10 or 12 spots that are a little bit ambiguous. We're not exactly sure how to fill them. Do you fill them with TikTok?
I wrote Tom Brady on my list. I wrote Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I wrote Wayne Gretzky, and he's just like, no, it's like that's not going to work.
Yeah,
and he's
he wants
right.
people to shake. He wants people to be nervous on putts.
Yeah, it didn't work.
And it is a great point. Like if that prize pool's already at $1 million, Dave's committed. If it swells to 2 or 3 million, and you've got a team of whatever, so you divide that by, even if it's by 4 people, that's an amazing amount of money that you can win by just hitting good golf shots. And now you're in front of people, or at minimum, you're broadcasted in front of a lot of people, and you are playing for a huge amount of money that matters a lot to you. And you're not a great golf, you're just an average golfer like we are. It's like the nerves over that, or the excitement over that of somebody hitting an incredible shot under that pressure, is what Dave wants and what we want and where we're going with the whole creator thing. So it's 100% true. And I think this is a great example, like you were saying, Frankie, of like a bunch of successful celebrities playing golf for $1 million. $1 million is a lot of money, but like it don't mean $1 million to them doesn't even mean what $100,000 or whatever it could be would mean to most of the people that play in the kind of golf that we play on YouTube. Like that's a ton of money.
It is crazy how fast everything shifts though. Like if you had pitched that match idea that just happened that nobody watched 10 years ago, it'd be like, whoa, this is crazy. Like,
or even during the height of COVID, like even 3 years ago, years ago.
Right. You would have been like, cause we've been preaching this for a long time about golf should just pull out interesting people. We usually talk about it in a golfer sense, but if you take celebrities and you put them all in a golf match, wow, everybody's going to watch that and it's going to make golf seem cool and everybody's going to watch. That's already dead. It's gone. Yeah, and now the thing is, it's what you guys are talking about. It's the event that we're going to put on where you get people who aren't rich and necessarily that famous, who want to make a ton of money, who got to play good golf, who aren't necessarily good at golf. And that's how you get an interesting product. It's really changed over the last just couple of years.
Whenever any like regular person has a chance to do something spectacular, that's where the juice is. And I feel like that's always been where the juice has been, right? Like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was like a huge show because you were giving average nerds a chance to win $1 million on live TV. Regis Philbin, the lights go down on some accountant and he's like on live TV calling his dad. Like, they didn't have some celebrity. Yeah, they had celebrity. They had celebrity. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but that was always just kind of like a fun thing. It would almost be an interview. The average Joe getting thrown into ridiculous situations for the world to watch has always been the key. We've just kind of gotten away from it.
It's the basis of every single game show that you ever watched.
Right.
The Price is Right. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Deal or No Deal. These are people who are literally in the Price is Right are getting picked out of the crowd to go do something crazy to maybe win a car.
I mean, you get somehow, some way. I'm just thinking of two guys that actually would be a really funny team because they're like kind of like built the same, but you get like Melosi and Jersey Jerry making it to the end, and Jersey Jerry in an alternate shot has a putt from 15 feet to win $1 million at cash. That is the amount of people that are messaging their buddies like, you gotta turn this on now. Jersey Jerry has a 15-foot slider to win $1 million. Like I can't miss that moment, right? Like I didn't even know Wayne Gretzky made a putt to win $1 million. I had no idea. It didn't come across my desk. But like the Jerry stuff, like when he's doing the hole-in-one challenge, like you just like you can't look away. You can't look away. He'll fucking have a heart attack on the green. He'll have a heart attack. He'll die.
Think about the Wayne Gretzky putt. If he makes it, he wins $1 million. If he misses it, he doesn't win $1 million. In both scenarios, his life doesn't change at all.
Not for a second.
So that's what we're talking about.
The crazy part too is I believe I saw like the last hole of the whole thing ended because like Phelps hit a shitty shot, like laid up, hit one over the green, flubbed a chip, and then just conceded. It was like, I think that's just awesome. It, right? That's like it. And then Wayne was like, oh, that's it. And then all of a sudden they like, the graphics team panicked and put on there like Wayne Gretzky, winner. And they were like picking up their balls in the rough. So, yeah, it's kind of a shit show. And I think you're right. And hopefully we're going to avoid that when we do it our way. Because, Jersey Jerry having any kind of shot for $1 million is right away must watch.
It's so good.
Anybody in that field,
anybody
in the field who has that putt is just like,
I got so many people I want to name, but I don't want to name them in case we don't end up putting them in. But it's like I'm thinking of so many people that grind day in and day out making golf content. Maybe they're not the biggest people, on YouTube or on Instagram, but they do the work. They put the work in. They've caught our attention. Like we know that they're in this world. You give them a shot. Somehow they win this match with a good partner. They go all the way down to the end. They finally have a putt to win $1 million. All of a sudden it's like, holy shit. I'm making 75, 80 grand, whatever it is, like scratching and clawing, trying to do stuff on Instagram and selling little ads here and there. Now I make $1 million. Like, this is why I did it. This is why I quit my job to pursue this. Like, that's the kind of person we're trying to find. That's the person we're trying to have win this thing.
But also, the make is great. The miss is better.
Yeah, it really is. Or the chunk, right? Somebody's got 80-yard wedge shot in. Their partner, who's the good player, put them in a great spot. Alternate shot. You got like a little wedge in, a bunch of people around, and you just flub or chip or something. Everyone's like, oh, no.
Perfect example of what we're going to watch with this on the line. Surviving Barstool is starting tonight, Tuesday, episode 1.
Wow.
You got $250,000 on the line for the winner.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch the shit out of that. I'm going to watch the shit out of a bunch of people in an office. Now, you do have a couple of rich people in there. You've got like the Whitneys and the Dave Portnoys and the big cats. Like, these guys obviously have money. There's no denying that, but they still want to win bad.
Oh, yeah.
You've got like, Jersey Jerry's and the Francises, and Francis is probably a bad example, but like there's a lot of people in there that want to win this cash, and they'll do anything they can do. Kirk Monahan. Like, are you kidding me? We'll do anything they can do to win that cash. So that's a perfect. This is where it's going. It's going so much so in that direction that we have a show tonight at Barstool.
Crazy.
That's exactly what we've been talking about, and it just hit my brain of how perfect this all is. We're like, people watch shows of like regular people having a chance to do something spectacular, win a bunch of money. Oh, tonight is our flagship show. Exactly that.
Dave knows. Dave just knows.
Tonight, Surviving Barstool. Check it out.
Tonight.
All protein bars throughout history pretty much generally taste the same, but not these. Not the One bars, which I'm holding right here. One made protein bars actually delicious with Reese's and with Hershey's. I love these. I know Trent's a little bit more of the peanut butter guy. I'm a bit more of the Hershey's cookies and cream guy. These are both fantastic. I just grab these out of my fridge. I like putting them in the fridge.
That's
chili.
A really pro move.
Wow. Oh, they're awesome. Highly recommend, Trent. You haven't done the fridge yet?
No, not yet.
Put them in your fridge, dude. Put them in your fridge. You're going to love them.
There's nothing like Hershey's. Hershey's just knows what they're doing, and the fact they have these bars that for us, they're huge on the golf course. Like, throw them in your bag. You have them in there in the same compartment that you got your tees and your balls. For me, it's like I remember that I had it in there from the morning. I grabbed it. It's a nice little thing to gnaw on in the golf cart. Mm-hmm. It's got only 3 grams of sugar, but all that protein in it. So it really is
18 grams of protein, I believe.
18 grams of protein. It's really getting you going for the rest of the round. It's holding you over until that big lunch or that big dinner that you're going to have after the round. Don't fill yourself up on the golf course. Like, this is an athletic event. This is something that we need to be like spry and energetic for. We got to feel light. Make sure you have this one bar, and it's just going to get you through the round. It's going to taste fantastic, by the way. I mean, it's Reese's chocolates. Like, what are we talking about? It's like unbelievable. So yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's been an amazing partnership with them because I really enjoy the product. I really, really like it.
They are delicious. They're absolutely delicious. So try the new One peanut butter and the One Hershey's cookies and cream. Go try these now. They're delicious. I just saw the LPGA commissioner is resigning, stepping down. I don't really know.
Whoa.
We know her, don't we?
Yeah, we met her.
No. Danny Rapp played golf with her. That might be what I'm thinking of.
That's right.
She didn't come to the Corn Ferry event?
But I believe she might have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think we did see her there.
We met her. I was having egg salad. I'll always remember. We were having egg salad. We were sitting down in that little players lounge. and we talked to her for a bit.
How do you guys feel about deviled eggs?
Deviled eggs, I love deviled eggs.
Me too.
I'll have 1,000 of them. I don't care
Really
what they
good.
do to me, my farts, the room that I'm in.
I'm glad we're on the same page with that because I
Deviled
couldn't agree
eggs
more.
are, and you can do them however you want. You can dress them up. You could throw some,
What is
throw
it?
some
Paprika
effects
on there?
there. Anything.
Some
Anything.
effects. Some
I'm a
effects.
huge deviled egg fan. I'll have 1,000 of them. Favorite Thanksgiving sides? What was your guys' favorite Thanksgiving sides this year?
I'm a sucker for green bean casserole. I just love it. And then, we had pretty good stuffing this year. I was, but I just play the hits. I'm just mashed potatoes and gravy where you make the little volcano. It's just the best thing in the world. I dip everything in there. You can't beat it. I can't beat it. I love it.
I'm a stuffing man.
Yeah. Homemade stuffing or stovetop?
Either one.
I'm stovetop till I die. It's the trashiest thing about me. And my family has to make a separate thing about, like, they have to make a separate container of stovetop. I'll have the other stuffing. I'll try it with sausage in it and everything.
I like the sausage in it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. But that stovetop, that pure trash, the stovetop and the cylinder, the metal cylinder of cranberry sauce with all the lines from the fucking factory, like, can't be real food. Not one aspect of that is real food. RFK Jr. is sending those things to Mars.
Yeah.
But give me all the stovetop stuffing and cranberry sauce out of the can all day long. I'll try all the other good stuff, the casseroles. My plate's not going to be empty. That's for sure. But give me a healthy portion of that good stuff.
I also put gravy on all of it. It's not, gravy isn't just for mashed potatoes. You put it on everything. The turkey, the stuffing, the green beans, all of it. Just make it all into one, almost like a porridge.
Fill up the volcano, and then the second half of you just kind of drip around the whole thing. And oh God, really good.
That run for the LPGA commissioner, I feel like it's short. Didn't Mike Wan just step down like 2 years ago?
It was 3.5 years. She was the commissioner, which does feel longer than I thought. I felt it was really. I thought that felt really short, but 3.5 is even longer than I thought. But yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess that doesn't totally surprise me. I feel like the LPGA has done fine, right? It hasn't really popped off. I wouldn't say it's done anything too groundbreaking.
I think there were a couple moments this year that they kind of turned some heads and opened some eyes with, like, that locker room situation that I know happened where, like, all their lockers weren't ready. And, like, remember that it was just like they were talking about.
I do remember that.
How they get kind of shit on and they don't get any of the good amenities that the men get, and they show up to tournaments and nothing's ready for them. And it's really hard for them to travel from place to place. And obviously it's not popping when you have a Nelly Corda winning 5-6 times a year and they're not getting TV coverage, and they're cutting away from her final round to go to, like, the Bermuda Championship of the PGA. There's just, like, they don't have a good TV deal. They don't have good rights deals. They don't have anything. Like, it's obviously it's not going well, or else it wouldn't be, like, different commissioners changing every couple of years.
Yeah.
All these other successful leagues have the same commissioners forever. Gary Bettman's been a fucking commissioner in the NHL since the 90s.
Since I was zero. It's like, I can't actually believe that Bettman's still out there doing it, man.
And he's signed every single deal. Like, he was on ESPN, then, like, Fox, and then the NBC deal, which seemed awesome because he had all those winter classics he came up with, and he's just really tried everything. I mean, if he has expansions,
what was that one channel
Seattle,
on?
Vegas.
Versus? Were they on Versus for a while?
They were on
Remember
Versus for a while. It was like channel like 212, like on Optimum. It was absurd. The biggest games of the year were in the 200s, where it's like every other sport, like NBA, Lakers, Cavs, back with like LeBron versus Kobe would be on channel 7, and then Ovi versus Sid would be on channel like 297. You're like, what are we talking about? No one can find this game.
Am I wrong in that I feel like the NHL the last couple of years doing very well, relatively speaking?
Well, they signed that ESPN deal. They have, like, what is it, like Wednesday night rivalry on, like, ESPN, and that may have been like the NBC Wednesday night rivalries. But they have, like, big games on ESPN now. A couple games will be on that ABC channel where you'll get the Bruins versus the Montreal Canadiens on a 1:00 on a Saturday, and it'll be on, like, as primetime TV as you can get. So, I mean, yeah, they're doing well. I mean, I feel like I don't know what they'd be missing. NFL just has the fantasy, which is what, and like they have it once a week, and it's like it's as big as it gets. Like I don't know how anyone can compete with it.
It's
like
fantasy, it's gambling, like they've got it all.
Yeah.
Hockey's just like too long. It's 82 games. It's not like football is just perfect for being a massive sport. You don't have to pay attention to it too much. It hits you like a ton of bricks on Sunday mornings. It's just like
NBA has the same problem. It's too many games.
Well, the NBA's actual gameplay is starting to really. Did you see that? Did you see that one clip? I think Kirk retweeted today where it was 2.5 minutes of just no points.
So there's a big problem in the NBA right now where it's all 3-pointers. And that clip showed that as well. Now, that was the end of a game. The other team was up by like 30 points, so they're just hucking. But, yeah, no, the NBA has a problem where it's all 3-pointers. They have figured out, there's a lot of smart people in that sport, and they figured out that if you just shoot more threes, you're going to have a better chance of winning. And that has just completely changed the gameplay. And you will watch games where you're like, I don't think anybody's taken a 15-footer in a quarter and a half. And it's bizarre. I think they're going to have to make a change. I think Adam Silver is going to have some foresight that Jay Monahan doesn't have and be like, somehow we got to change what's going on with these 3-pointers because it has changed immensely. All everybody does is shoot threes. Everybody. And it's boring.
Yeah, it's hard to come up with a rule change like that, but you got to somehow see it because like it's getting shit on social media, and that's all you really see. And they're saying like viewership is way down. These big games aren't getting those like marquee like viewership numbers. I mean, hockey did it. It's not like it's been so successful where it's become the biggest sport, but hockey figured out like overtime they've made 3-on-3, which was a huge change. It used to be 5 minutes, 4-on-4, and then they would just go to a shootout. Now it's 3-on-3, and then
oversaw so much, dude. Remember, he changed the whole
two-line
game.
Pass.
All the clutch and grab and the hooking, like they used to be the New Jersey Devils playing the neutral zone trap, and then the Dallas Stars with like Darian Hatcher and these guys. It was just very little offense because basically defensively you could just grab people, hook people, and you couldn't have the two-line pass thing like you said. There was no shootout. There was none of that existed. They changed. I believe they started to limit the size of goalie pads. They did all that.
Remember the little trapezoid thing? Yeah. Like that seems normal now. The little 2 lines behind the net, and like goalies used to be able to skate anywhere with the puck and grab all these pucks that were dumped in. And now,
dude, he was like a third defenseman back there. He would take
that
the puck
little
and just
change
rifle it to people.
Has changed so much of the game with forechecking, where like guys can dump it into the corner now, and the goalie can't go out and get it. Or like they would used to go out there, and then he would keep rimming it around the boards and give it to his defenseman. But now he can't go out there and get it. So the offensive player has a chance to get to that corner now and kind of lock up the puck, keep the puck in the offensive zone, and move it around. Like that's something the NBA needs to do. Like that's a legit boundary that they have made on the ice that like has changed the way that the game has been played. And 2-line passing, they've changed the way the game is, similar to like, I don't know, move the 3-point line back or something. I don't know what the answer would be.
No, there's a couple ideas. There's move the 3-point line back, put a cap on how many threes a team can shoot, or you get rid of the corner 3 where you make the line sort of go towards the corner as opposed to hitting the side of the baseline. So it eliminates that part of the 3-point line. They have to think of something.
So it would just be a straight line. There wouldn't be any curve.
No, it would curve, but as it curved towards the corner, it would go towards the corner as opposed to right now it hits like inside the baseline, so there's a little area there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then some guy could technically be like in a little sliver with his tippy toes if he wanted to.
Well, it gets smaller and smaller as it heads towards the corner. They need to think of something because it is definitely a problem. There's just, teams have figured out that if you just shoot a bunch of threes, and Steph Curry, he changed everything. He is completely, there's guys who were not shooting threes who now they just shoot threes because they know it's, if you make it, you're in a better spot than you were if you shoot and miss it too. Like if you just step back a foot, you can get another point. It's crazy.
So funny that Steph Curry changed the game for better when he was at his like reign, like hitting threes, winning championships, just doing something that we've never seen before. But now the trickle down effect of how he's actually ruined the game of basketball is funny. I don't think that really, I guess you could say that like golfers and Tiger and guys hitting it longer technically have ruined the future of golf. But that's only talking to like architects and like the people that need to preserve golf courses with water and all of this stuff. Like it's more of like a, geographical issue than it, or whatever, archaeologist issue. I'm saying the wrong words here. What's the word I'm looking for? Like who's someone that looks after grass?
A botanist?
A botanist issue? Is it a botanist? Agronomist? Agronomist. It's an agronomist issue more than it is like, kids want to grow up
I think.
and hit like the long ball, which I also think kids want to grow up and like hit threes too. So I guess it is kind of the same.
Dude, I saw a stat where like during one of Steph Curry's peak seasons, his 3-point attempts, like when he was number one, he was taking the most threes in the league. Say it was like 8 attempts per game. Now, if they run those stats, that number that he was number one wouldn't even be in the top 10.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's shifting the whole league, and like we're just going to shoot a fuck ton of threes, and it makes the product worse.
But in golf, like the number one driver of the golf ball, in 10 years ago, probably wouldn't even be top 10 now.
That's
just
absolutely
everything's
true.
Just long ball is in, the 3 ball is in. I don't think it's ruining golf as much like viewing as it is ruining basketball.
I agree.
Because you don't have Steph Curry's running around. Like that clip was unwatchable. Although it was watchable in the fact that like you couldn't look away until they made a basket. It's like it's flipping. It's like how bad can this product be? Just miss. It looked like a high school like girls basketball game. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire
life. Not
life.
only did they shoot pretty much all threes, but they missed every single.
They missed every single one of them.
No, I saw another thing where you'll go full games where there'll be on one team nobody will shoot from like outside of the paint inside the 3-point line. They're calling them like desert zones where there's whole like games
the elbow.
Will go by.
People used to love the elbow.
Nobody's shooting from the elbow. Like Durant is the only guy who shoots from the elbow anymore.
Amari Stoudemire used to kind of work the elbow. I mean, Kevin Garnett was the fucking king. Just that little like spin around fadeaway little. I used to do that in NBA like 2K11.
No, man, it's all threes
Just
now.
back the guy into the elbow and kind of turn around. That nice high lanky jumper. That was so satisfying. Why don't guys like to do that? They don't want to throw their body around. But like you're saying, it's all stats. You chuck 100 threes, you're going to make a certain amount of them. It's going to be better than chucking 100 twos.
That's it. That's all it is.
In the year 2000, John Daly led the PGA Tour with an average driving distance of 301.4 yards. Today, that would be 89th in the PGA Tour driving distance. Insane. JJ Spawn, your boy Frankie, is 88th with a 301.5.
That's pretty good for JJ Spawn.
I know. That's pretty good, is right. The leader is Cameron Champ, 322.8. Roy McIlroy, 320.2. Ben On, 317.1.
Where's Colin Morikawa? Where is he? Because he told me, we just filmed with him. He's like, I don't even think I'm top 100.
He's 135th with a
That's
296.
Crazy.
I know, we were watching him lace drivers last
Also,
week.
it just goes to show how good his iron play is.
296 is 100.
Isn't that insane? I haven't hit a 296-yard drive ever. And he's
not once, not even close in my life.
135th in driving distance on the PGA Tour.
Dude, I've hit a couple that have been like 304. We've seen a couple like little draws I've hit that have gone there, and they feel unimaginably impossible to recreate. Unimaginably impossible. Like everything has to go right. Perfect contact, hitting up on the ball, a little bit downhill, wind at the back, and we get there and we're like, whoa, 307, this is fucking nuts. Then I blade one over the green. But that for him is like, yeah, I'm 130, I do that once a couple rounds. I'm 135th in this tour. I'm not even cracking the top 125 of professional golfers that have cards.
Do the tournament scores reflect that? I mean, you can't look that up, but like, do they?
Yeah.
Like Cameron Champ's not out there winning every single tournament.
That's what I mean. He lost his card, maybe. The tour average in 2024 is 300.2 yards. That's the average. So imagine, right? Like the distance is so ridiculous. If you play a 450-yard par 4, which, I mean, that is a monster hole, right? Like how many par 4s do you come to that are 450 yards? That means the tour average guy is going to have a 9-iron or a pitching wedge in. I mean, he's going to hit a drive 300.2 yards, and he's going to have 150 or even a little less into that hole and have a 9-iron in maybe for these guys. Like that's on a 450-yard hole. That used to be a monster hole. And even if you stretch it out to a 500-yard par 4, that's ridiculous. It seems crazy. Hits one, the tour average hits one 300 yards, 200 yards for those guys is like a 7-iron, maybe a 6-iron, and that's a 500-yard par 4. That's insanity. It's just insanity. Guys, winter is officially just around the corner. In a lot of places, it feels like it's already here. I mentioned it on the show, but being in St. Louis over the week, it was very chilly. It snowed on Saturday. It was like 20-something degrees. What better way to welcome the dropping temperatures than with some new sweaters from our friends at Peter Millar? The Holdridge family of sweaters features a blend of ultra-soft merino wool and luxury performance material that provides wind and water resistance without the bulk of traditional outerwear. I'm holding this full zip right now. This thing, dude, look at this material that kind of comes. This is like the little woolly part, and then it's got this extra kind of layer right here that comes in the middle. This is a full zip guy. I rocked this thing at Bannon for the first time. I went to dinner in it. It's very, very classy. It fits great. It's cozy. Look how cozy. Can you guys see how cozy?
And none of the stuff obstructs your golf swing. That's very important.
Nope.
Fellas, I wore the crown at Thanksgiving.
Dude, I saw that picture of you. You looked awesome.
I wore the crown at Thanksgiving. I don't think I've ever felt as good as I felt in this photo.
Look at that guy.
Look at this.
That's nice,
look at
man.
This.
That's a real person. You dress up like that, you look like a real person.
Look at the crown. Look at the crown.
Showstopper.
Right?
It's a showstopper.
I mean, you know who's going to be proud of that is Todd Martin. I'm wearing the freaking V-neck, crew neck. Look at that. I mean, you throw a little.
Too. I didn't get a cool picture.
You throw a little collared shirt. I had a golf shirt underneath that. No one even knew. It was a white Peter Millar golf shirt. You throw the little collar up. You throw the V-neck, crew neck over it, the sweater. I mean, come on, man. That's as good as it gets. And everyone's like, whoa, look at that. And like they're touching the crown. It's embroidered on. It looks amazing. It feels amazing. I felt light. You need that too. It's a little stretchy too. So during Thanksgiving, as you sit down there and you're watching football, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so full, but I look good and I feel good.
It's a little bit of kind of a drawback of being a single guy at Thanksgiving. I can't be like, you guys get my picture of me over by this tree in my cool Thanksgiving outfit.
You're not taking many photos. Yeah.
Right. You got like the wife and it's like, you have to take the picture. It's nice. But
now we're like touching the belly. It's like a whole thing. It's like you got to hold the belly.
That's true. And the whole for the next
several months.
Touch the belly.
We're going to let you know every time.
Head on over to petermillar.com/foreplay to check out the Holdridge family as well as the rest of Peter Millar's sweater lineup. Be sure to check out their annual holiday gift guide as well for perfect gifts for every single person on your list. That is petermillar.com/foreplay.
This is perfect timing, actually, on Zyre Golf. They have John Sherman. They have all of his tweets at Practical Golf, and he's saying 4 PGA Tour stats that will change your perspective on golf. And we've heard these before, but so it goes, 1, a typical PGA Tour player lands the ball 20 feet from the pin from 100 to 125 yards in the fairway. So he's basically saying, like, no matter how good you think you are, you don't need to be getting that close to the hole. So here's when you start looking at scratch golfers and other handicaps, look how much larger these numbers get. So he's saying from 75 yards to 125. So you're in the middle of the fairway, 75 to 125 seems like it's go zone. I've got a 54 degree in my hand, and I'm pushing that up to a pitching wedge at the 125 number, right? Two clubs that I feel like I can go flag hunting with. A 25 handicap's average is 74 feet proximity to the hole. A 0 handicap, a scratch golfer, 39 feet from the hole. 39 feet.
That's
so
fucking
40
nuts.
feet. That is a fucking bomb of a putt.
Bomb.
That's a 3-putt. I mean, 40-footer, that's a 3-putt.
A 5 handicap
100%.
is averaging 42 feet, average proximity to the hole from 75 yards to 125. So now you push it up. This is where the scratch golfer gets really good, right? So a scratch golfer's proximity to the hole from 75 to 125 is 39 feet. And then from 125 to 175, it's 45 feet. So they only lost 6 feet.
Interesting.
Wow.
They've only lost 6 feet in average proximity to the hole, but still 45 feet is not as close as you think. But if you hit one to 40 feet from 175 yards, you're feeling pretty good about your chances of making a par at least, and you walk away.
Do they have the 25 handicap number?
25 handicap number is 114 feet average proximity to the hole.
You're missing
From
a
125 to 175.
Right. The scratch went 6 feet out. The 25 handicap went like 50 feet out.
Yep.
And then from 175 to 225, the scratch golfer went up 37 feet to 82. And the 25 handicap went up 120 feet to 236. The average proximity to the hole from 175 yards to 225 from a 25 handicap is 236. Here's another stat that John Sherman said. Tour players average bogey 80% of the time from a recovery situation. He goes, think under the trees. Yes, we see hero shots on TV, but that is not a typical outcome. So that's also very interesting. That like every time these guys are in even the slightest bit of a recovery situation, they're making bogey 80% of the time. That is why hitting the fairway is so fucking important for us amateur golfers. The best golfers in the world are making bogey 80% of the time when they don't hit the fairway and they're in dodgy situations.
It also teaches you, dude, that like when you are in a bad situation after a bad tee shot, ship it out into the fairway 100 yards away from the green. Hit that 100-yard shot. Don't think you have to hit it to a millimeter. Hit it to like 30 feet and then 2-putt. Make an easy bogey and be like, yep, I didn't make a 7 or an 8. I did pretty damn well there. It also teaches you that when you're standing there with an 8-iron in your hand, right? Like, Frankie, you're kind of thinking like, all right, I got a fucking 8-iron. That's a short iron. I could get this in there pretty close, whatever. Like, if you actually just hit the green and have 30 or 40 feet, that's fantastic. That's like, you did a great job. So if you hit an 8-iron or something to 15 feet, like you did phenomenally.
Phenomenal.
Like, phenomenal.
It's not even a question how good that was. And then I'll finish it here with the putting, because then he goes into like scoring average, where like a typical player averages 3.5. Tour player averages 3.5 birdies per round, but most of them are on par 5. So the scoring average is 3.08 on par 3s, 4.05 on par 4s, and then 4.63 on par 5. So they're just eating the par 5s alive. They have over par averages on the 3s and the 4s. And the difference is not birdies per round, if you really think about it. A 1 to a 5 handicap has 1.5 birdies per round. A 6 to a 10 has 0.9. It only goes down to 0.2 to a 21 to 25 handicap. So you're talking like 1.5 birdies around to 0.2 birdies around. It's not like it's 6 to 0, you know, like It's really just eliminating bogeys and double bogeys is where the difference is there. And then I'll finish with the putting. A PGA Tour player make rate from 8 feet. What do you guys think?
Oh, we've talked about this.
I know I have a pretty good idea because I do the Daily 9 so often that I like talk about the tour average, but I would say 8 feet. Are they slightly below 50%?
It's 50%.
Right at
50% from 8 feet. A scratch golfer's 41% and a 90s golfer's 27% from 8 feet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, a 15-foot putt for a tour pro, 23%. Do you know how often average golfers have 15-foot putts and we're getting aggravated that we're not like making them? The best golfers in the world are making them 23% of the time. That goes back to Scott Fawcett, where he's like, you're not going to make these putts by every single time. So let's just get it into a circle and really find the right line. And then speed is everything. It's just speed is everything. If you get it to the hole, it has a chance to go in. And if it doesn't go in, the PGA Tour Pro only makes that one every 4. Is that
pretty much
right? 25%.
Yep.
1 every 4. You don't need to make them every time,
dude. They're the best putting strokes, best equipment, perfect greens that they've been studying and reading all week long and making marks in their book and bringing in their caddy. Like they know everything there is to know. There's the least amount of external factors ever on those putts going in, and they make them less than 1 out of 4 times. Like, what are the chances that you out there, you're playing this public track, you got a 15-footer, you're on like your 5th truly, you're out there with the boys, somebody's playing music, they're chirping in your backstroke, like you're going to make a 15-footer more than, I don't know, once a round? Like, no, you're not going to make it ever.
I think what these stats prove, because obviously the other side of this is like, we watch PGA Tour every week and we're watching guys win like 27 under par. Like clearly these putts are going in. I think the idea behind these stats and the reason why they go so viral every time that he tweets them out is like, you don't need to be perfect to be the type of golfer that you want to be out there. Like you're striving to be a certain golfer as an amateur golfer. You're trying to go from a 15 to a 10. You're trying to go from a 10 to a 5 to a scratch. You're trying to achieve these things. And it's really not that impossible. It's not unachievable. Like what he's saying is like, you don't need to turn to Sky Shuffler to gain those strokes. You just need to stop being the guy that's making the dumb mistakes. Like you're hitting it under the trees. The tour average is making a bogey from there 80% of the time. Of course you're going to make a bogey. So let's fix that. Like let's try and get more in the fairway. The putting right there. Like you're not going to make every single putt. Stop getting so aggravated every time you miss a 15-footer. Make sure you get it close enough to make the next one. Make sure you're only 2-putting. You're not 3-putting. Don't always go for the home run putt. Like just get it into a circle that you're going to make the next one. That will make you become a better golfer. That'll make you get knock strokes off of your game. Yeah, it's eye-opening is what it is. You're not going to become Scotty Scheffler by not hitting in the trees. Of course, that's the easiest thing to say of all time. It's just like setting your expectations a little bit better. Or
you're also never going to be Scotty Scheffler. You're watching the top 0.00001% of people.
Right.
These
Scotty
are the best golfers
makes
in the
those
world.
stats look incorrect.
That's right.
Big time.
The other night I stumbled upon Sam Snead versus Jack Nicklaus at Pebble Beach. You guys ever watch that video?
No.
I think I've seen that.
Dude, you just got to watch it. It's 45 minutes. It's Jack Nicklaus versus Sam Snead, 1963 at Pebble, high def. Fucking watch it.
Wow.
I enjoyed a little devil's lettuce the other night and I watched it, and it was one of the great times I've had in my life.
Shit out of that. I'm gonna watch your shit out of that.
Dude, just old Pebble Beach, young 23-year-old Jack Nicklaus. I think Sam Snead's like 50.
Striping the ball.
Dude, he's hitting it like 290, 300 Jack Nicklaus is in 1963.
On the screws.
Everybody should obviously watch our YouTube videos, but if you ever want to watch something that's just like relaxing and you kind of can't believe that they have it in like such high definition, Sam Snead versus Jack Nicklaus at Pebble Beach. It's fucking awesome.
I'm gonna watch the shit out of that.
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Anybody got anything else? I think we're pretty much done here.
I think that's it, man.
All right.
I think that's it, dude.
Hope everybody had a lovely, lovely Thanksgiving and a lovely Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Thanks again for all of the support. Big thanks to our sponsors. We got Chevy, G4, Aura Frames, Ship Sticks, One Protein, Peter Millar. Thanks to all of our crew. And we'll be back on Thursday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.